Hi, beautiful and amazing creatives. Welcome to Seamstress Zone. So, you guys, this was a client's order, and while I was about to make the shirt parts, I thought to myself, why not update on your channel on how to make a shirt properly? So, if you're seeing my channel for the first time, welcome and thank you for joining us. So, right now, I have my pattern here, and this pattern is going to be for the front piece. Now on the front pattern, we're going to mark our 3 inches for button band. So just go ahead and follow while I mark. If you're a beginner, don't doubt yourself, mark along with me. So what we're creating right now is the button band, the allowance for the button band, and this is 3 inches. So go ahead and mark out your 3 inches. And you guys are going to be cutting the front and the back pattern together. I have the back pattern at the side. I'll bring it in, but before then, let's just create the button band, the allowance. So that's what I'm writing here, so you don't get confused. 3 inches. Now the length of my client's shirt is going to be 25, so I'm using 25 inches as her length. Now you go ahead and determine how long you want your shirt to be, and I'm just going to indicate here that this is the front pattern. So this is what I'm going to use for the pattern paper, that's for the back. And you guys, as you can see, the pattern for the back is longer, and you'll soon find out why. So before then, let's go ahead and fold in the button band, fold it in. It's like when you create your zipper allowance and you're folding it in so you can draft both the front and the back together. So right now, the front pattern has the button band allowance. We're just folding it in so we can place this together with the back pattern and draft our pattern together. Like we're drafting the front and the back pattern together. We're going to pin these 2 patterns together. So yeah, now on the back pattern, that's the brown paper I'm using for my back pattern, I'm going to mark 2.5 inches downward. So that is why the pattern paper is longer than the front, because we're going to be leaving 2.5 inches downward. You can decide to use 3, or you can just go ahead and use 2.5 along with me. But yeah, it's either 2.5 or 3. So just go ahead and create the allowance on the top of the pattern. And I'm just going to indicate with a long straight line to show that this is the allowance I'm leaving on the back pattern, and this is 2.5 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the front pattern and the back pattern together, and I'll make sure everything is equal from the top. Just on the top, I'm just going to make sure that the back pattern and the front pattern is equal on the top, and then on the center front also it's equal. Remember, we fold in the button band allowance, so we can place it like this on the back pattern and it is equal. Now you can see the allowance we left on the back pattern. You can see it now that it's on the length, right? Just make sure that the allowance now is on the base. So now I'm just going to go ahead and divide my client's shoulder measurement by 2. And her shoulder measurement is 15, so divided by 2 gives you 7.5. I'll be adding half an inch to that measurement to make it 8. Instead of using her 7.5, I'm marking 8 inches. And this is going to be on the top of the pattern. Now we're going to drop the shoulder by 2 inches. Normally, most times I drop it by 1 inch or 1.5, but for this shirt purpose, I'll be dropping her shoulder by 2 inches. And I'm just going to connect that shoulder slope. The 2 inches we came down by, I'll connect this to the center front, that's to the neckline. I'm dropping it, so I'm making a slant to the center front like this. And now we've dropped the shoulder on both the back pattern and the front pattern. We'll go ahead and cut this out. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the slope already created. And also I'll be cutting out the excess on the back, on the side of the back, not the length, just on the side, so that the front and the back pattern is equal. So I'll go ahead and take off my pins from the pattern. And now I'll make sure that the length of the back pattern and the front pattern is equal now. Do you understand what just happened? After we're done dropping the shoulder, what I did is I took out my pins and then I dropped back the front pattern to the length. So just make sure that your front pattern and your back pattern is equal at the length. And once that is done, go ahead and fold your back pattern to touch your front pattern. Now see the way I'm just going to fold mine. Make sure you fold this like this so your back pattern touches your front pattern. You guys, this is pretty easy. Just follow the step gradually. So as you can see, this is the back pattern folded and it's just touching the front pattern like this. So now you can see that the slope is both on the front and the back pattern together. Yeah, so as you can see now, they are all, it's looking equal. It's just the back shoulder touching the, coming to the front shoulder. Now once that is done, I'll go ahead and divide her shoulder measurement again by 2 and add half an inch like I did the first time. That's 8 inches. And now I'll go ahead and mark her armhole. Around armhole is 18. 18 divided by 2 gives you 9 inches. And then I'll be adding 0.5, that's half an inch to the 9 inches. So what I'll mark as her armhole is 9.5 inches. Now just go ahead and connect the shoulder to the armhole. And now also create an horizontal line. This is where the armhole curve will be sitting. So once that is done, the next thing to do is find the middle point on the armhole, and we're just going to find the middle point and leave that there and go ahead and mark our point. So go ahead and find the middle point on your pattern because we'll be creating a curve there. And now just go ahead and mark her bust point. And then I'll mark her hip point. Now this shirt is a free shirt. It doesn't have shape, so that's why I'm not using the waist point. So if you want your shirt to have shape, go ahead and use your waist point also, then your hip. But hers doesn't have shape. That is why after marking her bust point, I decided to mark her hip point because it's just going to be a straight shirt. I'll be having a design at the base though, like a little bit of curve at the base of the shirt. But yeah, now what I just did is rule horizontal line on the bust point and on the hip points. Now I'll just go ahead and divide her round bust by 4. I'm dividing her round bust by 4, and then I'll mark this down. And what I'll be adding as allowance is 1.5 inch. Because this is a free shirt, like I said, I need a lot of allowance on the shirt. So I'm just going to add 1.5 inch as the allowance. And I'll move to her hip point. I'll divide her round hip by 4. And then I'll mark this and also add 1.5 inch as the allowance. So if you want it to be freer, you go ahead and add more allowance. And like I said, if you want it to have shape, go ahead and add your waist point. And then your shirt is definitely going to have shape. Yeah, it's going to have shape. So what I'm doing right now is connecting the bust point to the hip point, and I'm just taking the line down to the length. Yeah, you guys get that. And now I'll just go ahead and use my free hand to create a curve on the armhole. And you guys, that is practically it. That is how you draft out your shirt pattern. So I'll go ahead and cut out the excess I don't need on the pattern. And you know what I'm cutting right now is the front and the back pattern together because they are both pinned together. So yeah. And now let's go ahead and mark the neckline. So the neck width I'll be using for this shirt is 2.5 inches. I'm just going to mark this on the top of the pattern. That's on the back, on the top of the back. You know, the back is what is folded and is touching the front. So I just marked my 2.5 inches width. And the neck depth for the front pattern, the neck depth for the front pattern is going to be 3 inches. And yeah, I'm just going to mark 3 inches down here. And I'll connect the neck depth and the neck width together like this. So there's no need for us to mark the neck depth for the back. I'll show you how we're going to cut. I just marked the neck depth for the front and I connected this to the neck width and I created a curve. So I'll go ahead and take off the pins, and now the folded part on the back, I'm just going to cut that out from the neck width side, cutting from the neck width, and I'm just going to cut out the folded parts. That is the back neckline. And now go ahead and cut out my front neck. And you guys, we're done. I'll just take off the pins on this pattern so you see the front pattern and the back pattern. So make sure you cut out the folded part on the back. Make sure what you're cutting out is the folded part on the back, just the way I did it. If you need to pause it, please do. So what I did is from the length, I went up by 1 inch. And then I'll just connect this to the center front like this. I was going to use my free hand, but then I'll use the ruler so you guys just see what I'm talking about. So this is just the shape I want it to have. I just don't want it to be equal. So that's why I created the shape. And that is it. So you go ahead and determine how you want your shirt to look at the base. And yeah, you guys, this is the pattern for the back. This is how the back is just going to look. I'm just going to indicate this in case you are still lost. This is the back pattern. And the other one is the front pattern. Now, you guys, remember we have the button band on the front pattern. So this is how your front pattern is supposed to look. You open up the button band and you have it there on the front pattern. And this is the back pattern. And you guys, let's go ahead and cut on the fabric. So the front piece is definitely going to be splitted into two because yeah, it's a shirt. And now what I'll do is take off one front and let's work on one of them. But before then, this is how your back piece is supposed to look. As you can see, this is how my back piece look, and it's supposed to be just one piece for your back piece. Let me open this up so you look at what we have. And this is how it looks. So now I have my ironing fabric here, so you know what is about to go down. So I'm just going to take out one piece of the front piece, so we'll work on one. What we're about to do is create the button band. And I have my 1 inch interfacing cut out. So this is my interfacing. This is like the hard one. I'm just going to show you guys, this is 1 inch. So I'm going to place the interfacing on the center front, like from the center front in. Just watch what I'm just going to do. I'm going to place that on the front like this, center front like this, and make sure that the gum part is the one touching the fabric. The gum part of the interfacing is the one touching the fabric. And I'll go ahead with my hot iron. Make sure you start from the center front in like this. You see what I'm doing here? There's no fabric before the interfacing. So the interfacing is from the beginning of the fabric. Now once I'm done ironing, I'm going to fold this once. You guys, you can see what I just did. I folded it in once, and I'll go in with my hot iron to make sure it lays flat. So take your time, make sure your shirt comes out very perfect. And make sure your iron is really doing the job. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure everything lays really, really flat because we have to fold this in again. Now this is the first fold. Remember, we'll go again and fold this the second time. So in total, this fabric was folded in twice. And now we have exhausted the 3 inches for the button band. So I'll go ahead and sew a straight stitch on my button band to keep it in place. Like I said, I'll go ahead and sew in just one stitch, a straight line, to hold the button band in place. Now most people like to see 2 stitches on their button band, but my client did not give me a choice of what she wants, so I just decided to do the 1 stitch, and this is how it looks. You guys, this 2-piece really came out beautiful. Like, you need to see it in real life. So anybody that walks into the house and sees the 2-piece is like, wow, Vivian, this is beautiful. And I'm like, eh. So now this is the 2-piece of the front piece. I'm just going to place the back piece on it like this, so I can go join. I'll sew in the sides by half a 1/4 inch, and then I'll sew the shoulder by half inch. And now this is how it looks. If you're looking at the shirt lay flat like this, you can see the back neckline popping out. So that is why we added the 2.5 inches. Now to cut out your sleeves, go ahead and place your tape on the armhole and measure what you have. This is just going to guide you in knowing the amount of fabric you need for your sleeves. But you guys already created my sleeves because I just wanted to show you how to make the proper shirts, like how to draft the proper shirts. And I already did my sleeves off the camera. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to attach. And please guys, stay tuned. I'll be uploading the video of how I made the sleeves curves and also the collar. This collar, why it's different from the other ones I've uploaded on my channel, is that this is a cut together collar, a collar stand and a collar together, cut together. So yeah, just stay tuned. And thanks for watching, you guys. You're amazing, and I love you guys so much. Always love and light. Stay blessed. Bye.